doing for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I'm joined by.
Hey, I'm Lauren Babic, and I am a singer from Toronto, now living in Nashville.
We've been there a while.
I've been here for almost 2 years, and
Yeah.
it's a little bit different than living in Canada, but I think I'm pretty well adjusted now with just like everything, like the food and just how the city works and everything. So it's been good.
Too Much and Never Enough is instant ear candy and a stellar release. How pleased are you with the feedback so far to this EP?
It's been really awesome. I've I've just been like over the moon with how the release has panned out and the reception of every single that's come out, and finally with the grand finale of Sanctuary and people being able to listen to the whole EP together in one shot. Everyone's been like really wonderful, and everyone's been really liking it so far. So
Can you tell us why you chose that title, Too Much and Never Enough, for this EP?
I think it really sums up just my experience with the industry, being like an independent artist for over 15 years. Um, I've said no to a lot of like labels, and I've always tried to carve my own path and try to not do what people tell me to do if it doesn't feel true to myself. So I've been told so many things over the years, like, oh, this is too much, but this is not enough. And I think like between every song on this EP, you're gonna get like a very wide range of genres in heavy music. And, songs like I'm Bored, which is like everything but the kitchen sink, versus something like Breathe You In, which I think some people who gravitate towards really heavy, complicated stuff is going to think that song is not enough. So I think it's like multi-layered. The EP is a big giant roller coaster, and it also kind of sums up my experiences being an independent artist up until now.
I'm Bored is seriously addictive. Do you have to like pinch yourself sometimes and go, fuck, I just done those screams and growls? It's so intense, yeah?
Yeah, it's just been I try and take everything day by day and just like soak in and be very present with everything. It's something that I try and do.
And of course, the video for Sanctuary is amazing. Whereabouts was that filmed? Was that filmed in Canada as well?
We filmed that in Nashville. It
Right.
was a video shoot over 2 days. We did sort of like the Blair Witchy hereditary stuff one
Yeah.
day, and then we did the performance stuff the second day, and we actually filmed I'm Bored the same day that we filmed the performance parts of Sanctuary. We just used a different part of the studio space. And I would say like the spooky parts of Sanctuary were some of my favorite things to film, because I bought this like camcorder, like this really crappy camcorder off of Amazon, and we used that for part of like the handheld uh,
Uh,
Blair Witch type footage. So it was super fun.
can you tell us a little bit about the EP artwork? It's really outstanding.
Actually, the artist who did all the single artwork and the EP artwork, he is an artist on Instagram called Abstractity,
Okay.
and I found his work on a really amazing resource artist collective called artgrab.co, and a lot of artists put their work on there so that musicians can go on there and buy exclusive licensing for their artwork. So I found his art on there,
Right.
and I fell in love with it. Like the woman with the flowers in the water. I was like, I need this.
Hmm.
So I licensed his artwork to use for
Awesome.
the EP.
Are there plans to have like a tattoo, a 3D tattoo of some of the artwork?
I think, I mean, I have my left leg. I have a lot of tattoos that are dedicated to some of my past stuff with red-handed denial.
Mhm.
So maybe the woman with the flowers could be a really cool homage to this EP that I'm really proud of. That's actually a really good idea.
So what did you get up to on release day? Did you live stream it or anything like that?
No, I think I get very nervous on release days because I it's kind of like like handing your baby off to
Mhm.
the public. So
Yeah.
I kind of took Friday to just like soak it in and you know just appreciate the day because I get very nervous on release days and release weeks, and
Right.
I try and stay off the internet because I can get very wrapped up in like the comment sections and so I try and do it in doses, but I did
Yeah.
not do a live stream, no.
It's always the way in human nature, isn't it? You get lots of platitudes, but you get one bad comment, and then that's it.
And then you hyperfixate on that one comment
Yeah,
and it can like override all the hundreds of good comments.
of
It
course.
I think it happens to the best of us, including myself. Like it's true.
What introduced you to metal?
I first fell in love with like heavy music when I was listening to like I was very young. I was maybe 13, 14, and I first really got into Linkin Park,
Hmm.
and they were kind of my first sort of like modern heavy band, and I think I was a little bit too young to really get into like new metal and when Slipknot was really big in the early 2000s, like I think I kind of missed the boat a little bit because I was a little young, but Linkin Park was kind of the first heavy band that had like screaming in it and it was very heavy. And then I started to get into a lot of punk music like early Green Day and early Blink-182 and I kind of transitioned into emo and that realm of heavy music, like Under
Hmm.
Oath, was really, really big for me in my early years of getting into music and like Taking Back Sunday and The Used and My Chemical Romance, like they were really important parts of me and how I got into heavy music. And I always say like I miss the boat of hard rock, like Breaking Benjamin and Bullet, like Kill Switch even. Like I missed that boat because
Right.
I was very much into the emo scene. So the past like 10 years, like in my 20s and early 30s, because I'm 34 now, and I was like, I missed this boat. Like I need to go back and pay homage to these bands that I wasn't into when I was a kid. So I've done like these massive deep dives of like Corn and Limp Bizkit and Evanescence, like really, really go back and appreciate those bands that I didn't when I was younger. So that's kind of my gateway into heavy music story.
Not only with your own work, but you're also very well known for your cover versions of songs. Is there a particular song that you wish you had written, though?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
I
I
know,
think
I know.
there's like hundreds. And I think obviously like growing up when women weren't necessarily kind of taking over the metal sphere because right now I think women are really having a an incredible moment with bands like Spirit Box and Ginger and Ethnios. Like women are really just rising up in this metal genre right now. I think like Haley Williams and Paramore were really really important to me, and I think sort of the spearhead in alternative music. So I would have loved to write any Paramore song. Like they're all amazing. So and of course like Amy Lee and Evanescence on the hard rock and new metal side, like Bring Me to Life and Going Under are two of honestly best heavy songs ever in my opinion.
So, with this EP, are there plans to take this out on the road and do a tour?
Yeah. So there are plans later this year to kind of do some test shows because I haven't done. I mean, I've done touring under my own name, but it was more of a support tour. So the goal is to get my own live show and my own band and take that on some test shows in select U.S. cities in the fall and we're working on getting booking agent support, and hopefully in 2026 and onward, we're going to be seeing me out on the road, maybe on some support tours, maybe on some festivals. So that's kind of the next step.
Yeah, I could see Wacken in Germany.
I would love that. I think that would be like one of the coolest experiences.
Yeah.
Like in Europe, like Germany and the UK have some of the
Excuse my cat.
most incredible festivals for heavy music. So that is a dream. That would be a dream come true for sure.
I mean, you've got a really good fan base worldwide, and I could see you getting set up with Ginger, maybe Arch Enemy on a tour. That'd be amazing. You never know.
Yeah. Like I think it's just been such an interesting journey because I've spent so much time like doing Red Handed Denial and Crazy 88 that I never really thought like my solo stuff was viable to take that out on the road because I had those two bands, especially Red Handed. But I think like, since the band is slowing down now and there's been just like such an overwhelming support for my solo music, I only now am I realizing like I can really take this to the next level. So it was a lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of like acceptance and self-confidence that I had to go through because like on YouTube, I think there's just something so beautiful there, and there's been people all around the world showing their love and support. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let's just do it and see how far this can go. So it's pretty amazing.
So when you do go out on tour, are you going to go under your name or a band name? I think you should just go out under your name. Yeah.
It'll definitely be my name. It'll definitely be Lauren Babic moving forward, and it's more so finding the good live team that will help me and be my live band to take out on the road with me, and it's slowly coming together. I'm in the process of building physically the live in-ear monitor rig, so that's coming together, and I think come the summer we're gonna start rehearsing and getting the live set together. So
it must be quite hard these days to get your head above the parapet. I mean, there's so many bands out there. I mean, I've been into metal since the 80s, and back then it'd be like one or two albums a week. Now it's constant.
yeah, I think especially with TikTok and social media, how it's changed so much, there's just this oversaturation of like accessibility, and it feels like information overload. So I think like I've been very lucky to have sort of like existed prior to that, and kind of had my footprint for so long. And I every day I feel very, very lucky that like I would hate to start now. Like it would be, I don't even like that's unfathomable. Like how would you even get into music now? Because it's so different than when I started in like 2010. Like it seems like a completely different world now.
Of course it does, yeah. It's unbelievable. 14 years, isn't it? Yeah, it really does.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's changed so much.
these two questions are like no-brainers, really. I'm going to ask you. Just to know you. How important is social media and communicating with your fans and followers?
I mean, right now it's the backbone and bread and butter of an artist, especially if you're independent. And I think even record labels now are making that realization like, oh, our bands have to be approachable, and they're almost not signing bands unless they do that now. And I'm also seeing like these big artists, even like Lady Gaga, doing like TikToks and being more personable, and it's almost like everything's been flipped on its head, and it can be very exhausting. It can be it can have burnout, I think, if you're not careful. And so I try and like balance my time online because it can get just too much. Like trying to answer everybody. So I think just the pattern that I've established up until now, and like my routine is just like I am quite approachable, and I try and answer all my DMs even still to this day. Like I think that is still like very unbelievable to some people. Like when I answer DMs, they're just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're answering me. Like, is this like your PR manager, or is this like your social media manager?" I'm like, "No, it's me. Like I manage everything myself." And I think that's still quite rare to have that like everyday response, but I'm going to try and do that as long as I can, because I think like people really appreciate an artist that can be down to earth sometimes. It
definitely. Yeah, definitely about that.
Highlight of your career so far?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many. Like I would say a really big moment for me was, of course, Lovely. Like I think that cover was just a massive moment, because it's still to this day like unbelievable, and just the reception and how that took on a life of its own in 2020 was like I still just don't believe it. It's crazy, and that I can attest a lot of like my success to that song, and how it just blew up the way it did. So I do owe a lot of what I do now to that song, and that was just like a really big moment, I think, so far.
If you had been offered the opportunity to become the lead singer with the reformed and revamped Linkin Park, would you have taken it?
Yeah, so that I think every other person asks me that, because
scrap that question then.
no, it's fine, because I try and address it, because I think it's an impossible task to come in and be in that position to fill the shoes that Chester had. And I think, aside from all the controversy that Emily has gone through, I think any person who had that position would have been scrutinized.
Definitely.
Like I think it would, if it, let's say in another universe it was me, I still think there's no person that can fill that shoe without heavy criticism, because of just the nature of Chester and his legacy and impact on heavy music and that band. I think if I was offered it, I would try, but I think I would do my best if that was ever in whatever world. It would be an honor, honestly. I think, but very scary at the same time. Like it would be crazy. Like, what an opportunity that would be. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is like, to choose 3 albums. There's one album that to this day just rocks my world, and that would be Altered State by Tesseract. They're actually a UK band.
Yeah.
They are like, that specific album, for I don't know, like the first time I heard Proxy, like just the moment that song kicks in, there's something, I don't know if it's some frequency or whatever, but like there's something about that album that just really, I haven't had that experience listening to something for the first time. So definitely Altered State by Tesseract. I would also say, let's go with Meteora by Linkin Park, and I would also say Periphery 2 by Periphery. Yeah, 3 of my definitely like albums that hold a lot of weight for me.
Amazing. What about then your favorite be vocalists?
Oh my goodness. Now the thing is, I listen to a lot of pop music outside of metal, so it's hard to put vocalists from different genres. But of course, I would say Chester Bennington has just been a huge influence on me in my whole life. I would say Whitney Houston, which is like a completely different type of vocalist. Yeah, different vocalist.
Cool.
Whitney Houston's just timeless, one of the best voices we've ever heard ever on this earth. Let's say Stevie Wonder, and I know that's like a completely other genre and time, but I've just learned so much from different genres, so it's really hard to say. And I'm sure that list would change on another day, but it's just like I try and draw so much influence from different places in music because I think it's important to just have varied perspectives. And I think 3 essentials. I have this thing called Vocal Mist, and it's like a vocal nebulizer that like has saline mist, a cool mist, and I use that like 10 minutes before I go to sleep, and it really helps with like recovery and hydration and just coating my throat and my vocal cords with just like a mist and salt. I do that before bed. Cough drops. There's some really good ones by like Vocal Zone. And even just Halls, like I like honey drops from Halls, like I carry those in my pocket. And let's say Gatorade, the like electrolyte one.
Yeah,
like it's like the Pedialyte version of Gatorade. I drink that just to like replenish my body from putting it through hell every day. I did a lot of UK and Europe countries. So countries I haven't been to, Japan is top. Mm-hmm. That's on my bucket list. Australia is number 2. And let's just go with Brazil because they ask you to come to Brazil every time. So let's say Brazil. I feel am I answering this correctly? Is Freddie Mercury?
That's cool.
If Freddie Mercury's gonna be in the car, I feel like he would be very entertaining and tell stories. And I feel like Elton John would also randomly have lots of stories to tell. Yeah, those are the 2 that come to mind.
Yeah, I should really do like a league table because Freddie Mercury and Elton John are always up there.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I really should. If there was a made-up song, like a totally made-up song about your personality, what would it be called?
Oh god, it would be called Scrambled Eggs.
Okay.
Because like I have like my brain is it's very like chaotic, and I have ADHD, so like there's always a million ideas happening, and sometimes I say random shit. So let's like Scrambled Eggs for sure.
That's a great title. That should be your next one, actually.
That'll be the next EP.
It will be, yeah. Do it. All right. Would you like to be able to stop time or rewind time?
I would rewind time, I think, because I think the future is very like right now the world is very weird and scary in a lot of ways. So
I live in the UK. Seriously.
Yeah, there's a lot of really scary things happening right now. So I think rewinding it to a time that is a little more predictable would be nice.
Definitely, yeah. I agree more with that. Would you rather play a gig in the middle of a dense forest or on top of a mountain?
Oh, probably on top of a mountain.
Okay. So, are you a bit of a night owl or a day person?
A night owl. I've been a night owl since I was a baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and so the final one, as you're Canadian, do you prefer moose or bears?
Ooh, let's go with bears because I've actually had a bear encounter, so I'll go with bear.
Have you? And you survived?
Yeah, I survived. I lived to tell the tale.
Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Yeah, I hope you enjoy the EP if you check it out. It was definitely a labor of love and kind of like a beginning of this new chapter. So I appreciate anyone who's listened, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, but I'm still